Hi, vinyl community. I've got here, finally done my vinyl tag for 2018. So, hope you're all doing well. If you're new to my channel, then I've been on here for about 4 years, I suppose, or maybe a bit more. And if you look back at some of the old videos, you might find something of interest. And I often do. Sorry, my name's Martin, by the way. And yeah, I do have a very varied record collection, I suppose. So yeah, very broad appeal in a slightly eclectic manner. So here's the vinyl tag 2018, and hello to all the normal subscribers and such like. And yeah, I'll see you in some of your videos too. Right, so first video ever seen in the VC. That's a very difficult question to ask because I just cannot really remember. But one name sprung to mind. He does not make videos anymore, and that is, or hasn't done for a while, that is John Staff's owl. That's related to his location. He lives in Midlands, Northern England, and he supports Sheffield Wednesday, who are called the Owls. That's the nickname, yeah, and he's called John. So I remember watching John's videos and having a backlog of them to go through, because he must have been hit on here like maybe even 6-7 years ago, I guess, and just thoroughly enjoying them and writing comments that were very out of date on them. Yeah, there's other people, but he was the one that sprang to mind. And a favourite record via a VC video. Now, Mikko Toivola in Finland. Hey, Mikko. I met up with him. That was probably like nearly 2 years ago now, I think. He's recommended a lot of things, and Finland has lots of great music you would never probably hear of. The guy from Nightwish, Tuomas Holopainen, has an album coming out with his wife and Troy Donockley, is it, I think, in about 3 weeks' time. So I'll probably be talking about that soon. But this is sort of a bit of a modern proggy album on Svart label, and it's by a band called Sammal, which is moss, like the green, slow-growing thing in forests on the ground. That's what it means. And the album here is called Myrskyvaroitus, which is Storm Warning. And this is a really good album, and he showed it, and then I don't remember if I ordered it from my local shop or got it on a visit there. But this is a very good album, and a lot of our tracks are on YouTube if you want to watch them. It's a gatefold, a nice. I think maybe this was their second album. I can't quite remember. And as I say, it's on Svart label, just with that sort of a label. And it's black vinyl. I couldn't remember. So that's a record that is recommended by Mikko and myself. Okay, a quick drink of tea. Now, something that a hobby that you don't know about. Right, now, as you see, I've got this acorn hat on with some rabbit fur around it. So last few years, me and my wife have been going to some medieval fairs and a particular festival. The festival is great because if you book up for the weekend, you get to see the bands and the music exclusively because you're camping or staying there every evening. Every August bank holiday for about 3-4 nights they have music. And Seen a band there last year called Noble Jacks that were very good. Almost a bit like Levellers. Usually the music is more folk or well medieval orientated. I suppose there's a split between the people that like completely non-electric sort of thing, and then the people that like more of a what's the word? Well, you know, more modern mixture of things, amplified, I suppose you could say. So yeah, so that is really good, and that's the thing I do. And here I did actually find a picture of me cooking there, like yeah, just waiting for the next invaders to come. So that's what we do, and if I have a chance, I really like reading sort of like history books, or if not, then I'll settle for watching history programs on BBC. Not just medieval, but all sort of history stuff. Yeah. Right. Why did I start to collect records? Very simple answer. Back in the day, because other people have more records than me, so I decided I want to have a good record collection. And then I suppose coming up in a couple of questions' time, we'll answer why I got even more records than the normal, whatever you want to say, 1-2 cubes worth or something. You know, sort of teenager accumulation. Number 5. Do I play an instrument in a band? Well, no, but I do sampling and sort of like recreate vinyl, and also I've sort of started with a reel-to-reel tape as well, getting some ambient sounds and field recordings going. So I haven't got the album which I did last year. I've sort of like run out, and it was on like a local label, but I will be doing something again this year, but I have not entirely got round to it yet. The ideas are there, so it's in the pipeline. Yeah. Number 6 was, have I ever worked in a record shop? Well, that is where my record collecting from 1 to 2 cubes just grew and grew. And yes, I did. I worked in a record shop very near London, in a small country town, for about 7 years. We were the only record shop there. I mean, really, I should do another video related to that. Really, I'm sure I've got some pictures and things somewhere of me looking completely different. The other thing is, I have sometimes helped in charity shops in the UK. Well, at least a couple of times I have, but not at the moment. I'm on a brief hiatus from that at the moment. But I think that's what reignited vinyl hunting and collecting about sort of sometime after the turn of 2000, I suppose, after maybe half a dozen years of not being so into it. Right, sorry. Favourite album from my birth year? Simple answer. Neil Young, Harvest, recorded in England. This is just a early 90s repress, I think. Show a guilty pleasure record. Well, I'm not going to just show you one. I'm going to show you my entire collection of Samantha Fox records. Okay, so here we have a debut album with the not sticky here, but just the hits, hype hits in the corner there. This is on Jive. And the second album was this one. And then some EP 12-inch ones. Touch Me. Oh dear. Nothing's going to stop me now. Goodness me, I think I had a jacket like that once. Stone-washed, oversized denim. I didn't have the gloves though, you'd be relieved to know. And then this was from an album I haven't got, but this is Love House, where she tried to get a bit more hip, a bit more rappy. And this was I don't remember who it was now, but this is from the album I Want to Have Some Fun, when she absolutely massacred Dusty Springfield's Only Want to Be With You. So this is her trying to be a bit more trendy. And there's a slight backdrop. We saw her. Sorry, me and a mate went to see. Well, didn't we? Went to a festival. It was a Christian arts festival, and we saw her performing at it at this festival. Yeah, well, I think she was at a little bit of a low point of her career then, I suppose. It was, yeah. I don't know what to say about it really, but I think we probably spent quite a lot of time laughing, actually, to be honest. Anyway, next question. What classic record have you never heard? Oh, I didn't get that one. I know the hits from this record, but yeah. Oh, well, you saw it there, but I've never sat down and listened to this album in its entirety. I know the hits. Sorry, it's Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. I've never just sat down and listened to it all, just the hits. If you want to comment on that or any of these other things, then that would be quite interesting, really, to say, oh, you really need to listen to that album. I suppose I'm slightly deterred because it's a double, in a way. And I like the hits. Okay, number 10 was The Strangest Record. There's a little story to this. This is a 12-inch, one-sided Bach Psychosis scum, recorded at St John's Church, Stratford, March, April 1992. So it's a sort of a piece, sort of about 20 minutes long. And that's the etched side, and that is the music side. Now, this moment happens on this where they are recording, singing, playing in this church, and then in the background, apparently, as the story goes, there was some gospel or some worship singing going on somewhere else, either in the same building or very near it, and they left it in there, and it actually fits in really well. I don't know if that makes it a strange record, but well, it is quite a strange record. I mean, Bach Psychosis are quite a strange band, I suppose, and in retrospect, quite what's the word? Well, quite cult, I suppose. Right. Show a picture disc. I do not have many picture discs at all, but going back to the late 80s, I have got this, which is a picture disc. I mean, the cover's very nice as it is anyway. So this is this, and here's the picture disc of Velveteen. Sorry about the glare, but they've tried to put in as many images and tried to make it look as trendy, iconic, retro as they possibly can. And there's Wendy. So that is a picture disc. I just do not own many. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy many. And if there's a record that's on black or coloured vinyl, I'd rather have that really. So goodness me, we're already at 14 minutes. This is going to be a very long video. Now the next question was about a posthumous release. Now, lots of people make records and usually they just die, and then you get your greatest hits and all that sort of malarkey. There's not many people I can think of that have died before the album's been released. We'll come to Bowie in a minute. I'm not sure whether he'd died when this was released. I honestly can't remember, but it was as close as I could get. And certainly the sentiment on this album was there. Okay, so it's a white vinyl from what I remember. I won't get it out now. But this is Nirvana Unplugged in New York, and it came out in 1994. And I can't remember if it died when this came out. Sorry, but I almost feel like this question just stinks in a way. What artists do you compulsively collect? So I went for Vangelis, because often you'll find them knocking around in thrift stores and charity shops, and he's done so many different sort of things, but you can always find something by him. So we've got this one, Hypothesis, which is I don't know where he got this image from, but this is a 1980. I think this might be a repress. I'm not sure, but I've seen this image used elsewhere, and this is a bit more jazz rock sort of tip. And we've got the soundtrack to L'Apocalypse des Animaux, and that cost me £2 from Sue Ryder in York. I showed this the other day. This was almost like the 70s Doctor Who background music. Bo Borg, Vangelis. I got this in Manchester when I met up with James Griffiths, Headley, John, Chris. Yeah, so I found that in there at the record fair. And we've got this one, The Dragon, which is the same Italian label, might be a repress later. Charlie, 1981 that says, but that was recorded 1971. Then we've got this, which I found in the charity shop. I did not get volume 2 free because there was only volume 1 there. That's a sort of a compilation or something, I think. And the other album I don't have, or I've never heard, believe it or not, is Aphrodite's Child. I don't think I've heard it anyway. 7 years in the record shop, you would have thought I would have done, but yeah. Blade Runner. That's the original one, I think. And then Chariots of Fire, which I like as well. So that's the artists. If I see something, I'll give it a go, no matter what. Best blind buy. Okay. If I find something for £1 or it's in a thrift shop, I'll often take a chance. It's not a problem. New albums, it's rarer. Yeah. So I bought this. I must have heard it somewhere, or just took a chance, knowing what it was going to be, sort of something that I would like. Yeah, double album, M83. Yeah. Favorite album cover. Favorite album cover. Got a T-shirt of this. The Church. Priest equals Aura. Photograph taken by David Katzenstein. Just a very simple image with a couple of things on it. Nice. This would have been good for John Bellamy's black and white, or whoever did the thread on black and white pictures, album covers. Yeah, just a very simple image. God, it's cold here. It's really suddenly got cold in UK. No snow here yet, but it's coming. All 2 centimetres of it. Okay. Musician that I've met. I think that was the next one, yeah. Now, the story behind this was at Tavastia in Helsinki. Went to see this band here, Spiritualized. It was a great gig. This is sort of done like a pill, and then you have the medication leaflet. Anyway, there was a guy standing there. I think I've told this story before. I could have told any story about when I was in the record shop, but maybe those people weren't quite so famous, like Sydney Youngblood or somebody like that. Anyway, there was a guy standing there, and he was English. Well, I just felt, I'll go and talk to you. You don't look very Finnish, I suppose. But yeah, he was standing there, and me and my wife went over I went to sort of break the ice, I suppose. And I kept saying, "Oh, I'm sure I know you from somewhere." Yeah, as you do. So it turned out to be the Mark. Is it Mark? Mark from the Levellers. Yeah, and he was there because the following night they were playing there. And then in a very uncool rock and roll style, he said, "Oh, come down tomorrow night." I mean, I think I've seen Levellers once, but a long time ago, like early 90s. And they were really good, and I probably said that, and just talking about stuff. So I didn't go down. We didn't go down because we were going to see my in-laws. So not very rock and roll, really. Having a cup of tea instead of jumping around to the Levellers. So this is the only album I've got by them, actually, or certainly on vinyl. And it's a good one, too. Oh, I think I missed Blind Spot Artist. Yeah, number 15, sorry. So David Bowie is my Blind Spot Artist. Because I guess I like his hits, and I like some of the albums, sort of what I've got, I suppose. But I've never delved into him, and certainly since mid-90s, in that way that Madonna sort of follows fashion a bit. I find it a bit crazy that he would do he's done a drum and bass album, and he's done a whatnot album, and this and that. Anyway, I'll show you what I've got, and I don't know, I'm just not really. I like him, yeah, but certainly since he died, a lot more people like him than used to. So all I have is, whether I have more or not, I don't know, but all I have is a Ziggy Stardust, like an early 90s repress, a gatefold. There's a barcode to prove it. Then someone I know gave me. Is it this one? Yeah, I can't say. It's top secret who gave me this, actually. Hunky Dory. And this was in a thrift store. Oh, this belonged to S.A. Esberger, 10th of the 4th, 1982. So I've got Low. And then a new one that I heard at my when we had a vinyl night in a pub where I live. We moved around a few pubs, and someone played the only available on 12-inch James Murphy DFA remix of Love Is Lost, which is great if you ever have a chance to hear it. So I got that off eBay, actually, new, sealed. So that's Bowie, and where I live, I will have to do a video because we're having a statue of him put in the town where I live, and I will have to explain another time why that is happening. Anyway, probably 20 minutes now, probably more, I don't know. Anyway, sentimental value. I rather naughtily sold a couple of my mother's records, and then one of them, Jelly Bread, which is a late 60s blues, jazz, rock sort of thing, I found again when I was on holiday with her in Prague, so I got that one back. And then this one, I don't know if she's that bothered about this one, but sentimentally, because I borrowed it or listened to it when I was quite young, I got this in a record fair. It's a sticker still, £8. It's this I think she used to listen to it. It was a pirate radio guy. And there's lots of old 1930s whatnot blues recordings on here. It's on Extra Transatlantic, particularly "Say No to the Devil" by what's his name? Oh no, that's not on this one. So here you've got Big Bill Broomsey, Lead Belly, Robert Johnson, Blind Lemon Jefferson, and then this guy, he introduces every record a little bit. And I have another. He did another album actually, which I also found, which I'm not going to show now. But yeah, so that's Mike Raven. Oh, right, we're nearly there. Hang on in there. Favourite album that nobody knows about. I was in Barcelona. I was actually visiting my dad, and I found this. It's on it's a Canadian guy. Yeah, I think it's a Canadian guy and a Spanish guy. Barcelona and Montreal, Quebec. Or it's mainly the Spanish guy. Sorry. But if I told you, like, the tracks are called "Walking Across the Garden of Your Mind," "Theme for a Silent World," "Stonehenge," "Revelation," "The Triangle," "Devil Times." There's lots of synths, and it's very quite spooky actually in places. I would recommend this album. You can get a copy, I think, on Discogs. I paid under €10 for it. I would recommend this. And then the last question was favourite album in the genre you don't know very well. Well, I don't know much about dub, but I did have this, I've had this for years. This is King Tubby and his Aggravators. Observer All Stars and the Aggravators. 73 to 76. There he is. And this was a repress album. Trojan, 1989, or is it a compilation? I'm not sure. And then online I got this. I just don't know anything about dub really. This is Psalms of Dub. So it's the Psalms from the Bible, but in dub by Prince Fari. Yeah, because I think to Rastafarians the Psalms are very important. Because the Psalms is obviously the musical part of certainly the Old Testament anyway. So I got that, and I think that actually cost quite a bit of money. I went a bit crazy on the bidding wars there, but I don't suppose it turns up all the time. So that is the end of my vinyl tag, and we're clocking in at quite a long time. So thank you for sticking with me. I hope you found out some more stuff about me if you didn't know anything, and please subscribe if you like, comment, and I will be checking out you in your videos or commenting back as much as I can. So yeah, enjoyed that. It was good. Okay, see you soon next time I do another video. Bye.